Welcome. Namaste. Welcome back to your basic yoga posture of the week, where over the past several weeks and the next few weeks, I am choosing a random, traditional, basic, foundational yoga posture to break down as far as how to get into the pose, some of the benefits, some of the contraindications, and just a general overview of basic beginner yoga postures. And my name is Desi, aka Moonchild Yoga. And so we're going to dive in deeply into our lovely half Lord of the Fishes, also known as Ardha Matsyendrasana pose this week. So without further ado, let's get started. So our Ardha Matsyendrasana, aka half Lord of the Fishes pose, is a seated posture. So we've made it to the portion of this series of poses that are either seated on your mat on the earth, or if you're performing them in a chair, you can do it from a chair as well. I'm going to be showing this posture in a few minutes with some modifications, and that is one of the modifications, is how to do the posture, how to come into the posture in a chair if getting down on the floor does not work for you. So if you're coming into this posture in the traditional way, you're going to have a seat on your mat or right on the floor, however works best for you. And make your way into your Dandasana staff pose. So that was from a previous video. I think it was the last video that we came into our basic foundational postures. So your Dandasana staff pose is just simply just like I am here. So you're seated, your big toes are touching, your spine is nice and long. Bring the flesh of the bum out from underneath of you so you can really have maintain the length in the spine a little easier that way. And you're going to let your shoulders soften down your back, soften your face and jaw. And taking a moment to ground and center. So this is a really great way to come into the present moment in your practice. So just taking a moment here to just ground and center. Your palms can be resting on your thighs. They can also be resting beside you on the earth. So that is whatever is most comfortable in your own beautiful bodies. And perhaps you close your eyes down here and then just begin to really focus on your breath. So this is a really great way to come into the present moment. And the present moment is the only place that life actually exists. And then once you've taken a couple of breaths, slowly flutter your eyes open. And we'll come into the posture now. So this is a two-sided posture. So we're going to bring our palms to the earth. We're going to bend the right knee. I always start with the right leg on two-sided postures. And we're going to bring that right foot up, and then we're going to simply place the right foot on the outside of the left knee. So I have some knee sensitivity in both of my knees. I have a lot of inflammation. I have a torn meniscus in the left knee. So I have a lot of stuff going on with my knees. So the traditional way that you come into this posture is you're going to bring, after you bring the sole of the foot, whichever side that you're coming into it on, if you bring that sole of the foot to the outside of the knee, the opposite foot you're going to draw around towards that opposite hip. So you're going to bend that knee and draw that foot around. So if you would like to come into that posture, or the posture that way, by all means, please do that. I simply cannot. And I am honoring my body by listening when it tells me that that's a no-no. So I'm going to start with the modified way, of course, and I'm going to keep this bottom leg straight. And if you have knee sensitivity, by all means, please listen to your knees. If there's any piece of advice I can give, it's that. And so you're going to bring your right hand behind you, and then on an inhale, you're going to float the left fingertips up towards the sky, keeping your shoulders soft and your spine long. And then on your exhale, you're going to twist and try to twist from your core, and you're going to bring that left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Now, I will start by explaining modifications now instead of making that a separate portion of the video for later. You can always wrap that left hand around the right knee if bringing the elbow to the outside does not work for you. You can also simply rest that left hand down if it's simply too much for you. But for me, anchoring that left elbow on the outside of the right knee really helps for me to deepen the stretch from my core versus all into my shoulders or even into my hips. So when I teach this class, or when I teach this posture, or so teaching a class, or when I practice it on my own, my focus is in my core. So I really want to try to twist from my core. And so that really helps with aiding my digestive system. So it's a great pose to practice early in the morning to kind of amp up your digestive system for the day. And so you're going to have that left hand. If you have the elbow on the outside of the knee, you're going to have your left fingertips splayed out wide and straight up towards the sky. And then you're going to have your right palm on the earth behind you. And take a deep breath in and grow long in the spine right here if you're coming into this posture with me. And then on your breath out, see if you can twist even deeper. And as you exhale and twist, see if you can really draw your belly button in toward your spine. So your gaze can come behind you or not. Take a deep breath in through the nose right here. And then breath out. We will release and make our way back to our Dandasana pose. So back to center. And as previously mentioned, this is a two-sided posture. And so as with my other videos where we had two-sided postures, so some of the standing postures that we had that were two-sided, I'm going to demonstrate the posture on the other side. And so same. So you're coming into this posture from your Dandasana staff pose. And then on your next inhale, you're going to bring your palms to press into the earth. Keep your shoulders and face soft. Bend the left knee, left sole of the foot as you exhale lands on the outside of the right knee. So we want to maintain the length in the spine. You'll notice a difference in sides. So all two-sided postures, you have one side that is a little stronger than the other typically. And it does not necessarily have to be classic to your dominant side of the body. So sometimes I'm a right-handed, right-sided person. Sometimes I come into the posture a little more deeply or a little more steadily, whatever the posture may be on the left side. So for me, there's no rhyme or reason. And then on your next inhale, you're going to place your left fingertips behind you. Float your right fingertips forward and up towards the sky. Once again, maintaining the softness in your face and jaw and your shoulders. And then exhale, drawing your navel toward your spine. You're going to turn your torso to the left. And then if you can, place that left or the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. And so once again, difference in sides. This side may be a little stiffer for you. So you may need to simply wrap that right forearm around the left leg, or you may need to just simply rest the right hand down. You can even bring the right hand to the earth and just do all of your twisting from your torso and your core. So if you have your legs straightened, such as I do, I mentioned my knee sensitivity. So you can always bring that right foot towards the left hip if you want to come into the deepest extension of the posture. But if you have that leg extended, see if you can keep your toes flexed, whichever side you are on. So that just gives a different engagement in a different area of your body. Take a deep breath in, grow long in the spine. And then on your breath out, perhaps you twist even more deeply, keeping the shoulders down the back and bringing your gaze behind you. Take another deep breath in right here. And then breath out, we unwind, come back to center, and then come back to your Dandasana, staff pose. And so some other modifications other than the ones that were previously mentioned. You can come to sit on something. So if having your hips all the way down on the earth does not work in your body for this or any other seated posture, most of the time having a bolster or even a folded up blanket to rest your hips on as you come into the posture can be a help. You can also have a block behind you to rest that hand on. So sometimes there's too much space between the earth and your hand. So for me, that's not really an issue. I have a shorter block here to demonstrate with, but you can by all means use a larger block. These are cork blocks, but you can also use foam blocks. So, it's just whatever you can have underneath of your hand to take up space between the earth and your hand. If you do not have blocks, that's where your handy dandy rolled up blanket can come in. You can also use a thick book or even a stack of some sturdy books to just simply help take up the space in between your hand and the earth, potentially even a couch pillow to sit on, or a bed pillow or a smaller pillow instead of a blanket or a block. So with props, the sky is the limit. Sometimes you have to kind of play around with what you have available to see what works. Keeping everything safe and pain-free is always the goal. So, those are your options or your potential options for props. And so coming into your seated staff pose, so your Dandasana staff pose, with your hips resting on a prop, whatever prop you choose. Grow long and tall in the spine. Soften your face and jaw. Let your shoulders be soft. Bringing your big toes to touch and potentially even flexing out through your toes. Take a breath in through the nose, keeping the length in the spine. Bend the right knee, draw it up towards the right shoulder, placing your hands on the bolster or on the earth if you have that option. And then on your breath out, you're going to rest that right foot on the outside of the left knee. Bringing your palm to rest on your block or other prop behind you. Next inhale, we're going to float the left fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, we're going to twist to the right. And keeping in mind, you can always modify by wrapping your hand or your arm, your forearm, left forearm, around that right leg if you're doing the right side, or even resting the left fingertips down. And so it would be the same on the other side with the use of props, should you decide to use your props to come into this posture. And then to come out of the posture, same as before, you're simply going to lower your left hand down, unwind everything. Take a breath in as you find length in the spine, and then breath out, making your way back to your Dandasana, staff pose. And so if you've been following along with my previous videos, you already know that pretty much all of them I have offered modifications for, particularly with the use of performing the pose or coming into the pose in a chair. And Half Lord of the Fishes is no different. So not everybody can get down onto the floor or onto their mat on the earth very easily. I hear a lot of folks say, if I get down, I won't get back up. I had mentioned my knee sensitivity. Sometimes that's an issue for me as well. So if you're just having a moment, or if you're unfamiliar or unsure about getting down on the floor with these postures, by all means, the other poses and this one can very easily be done in a chair. And so if you're using a chair, it's nice to use a chair that has an open back if possible. If you do not have a chair that has an open back, you can still practice this posture. It may look and feel just a little bit different, but it would generally be the same thing. For visual sake, me having an open back to the chair is definitely much more presentable on this platform. So I'm glad that I have that so you can really see. And so you'll come with the back of the chair facing away from you. So you're going to have the back of the chair facing to the side that you're going to be coming into the posture on. So the side that you are going to be twisting towards, basically. And as I had mentioned before, I always start on the right side with two-sided postures. So having your legs facing the opposite direction of the back of the chair. On your next inhale, find length in your spine, soften your face and jaw. You're going to bend have the right knee bent. You're going to draw that right knee up towards the shoulder. And then as you exhale, you're going to cross the right knee over the left one. You're going to have the left sole of the foot planted on the floor. I can already tell you for folks that have knee sensitivity, this is a very much happier version of the posture. And then on your inhale, you're going to grow long in the spine. Float all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. Keep the shoulders soft. Soften your jaw. Then as you exhale, float your fingertips down, twist your torso to the right, and let your palms simply land on the back of the chair. And so this is also a much gentler version of the twist as well. Take a deep breath in, find more length in the spine if you can, soften your shoulders down, and then on your breath out, see if you can twist even more deeply behind you. So doing this in this fashion, the chair will stop you from that right knee floating even more towards the right. And so you can really deepen the twist in the area of your torso and your core. Take a deep breath in to expand right here. And then breath out. Simply twist or unwind, untwist, come back to center, place both feet on the floor, and let your palms rest on your thighs, and just breathe in to what you feel here. And so I'm going to demonstrate this posture, of course, on the other side, and I've added in my blocks to potentially rest my feet on. Should you have issues with your feet reaching the earth, you can always have a couple of blocks to rest under the soles of the feet. So that definitely helps to bring the earth closer to your feet or the feet closer to the earth. And so we're growing long and tall in the spine, and we're gazing forward here, softening the shoulders down your back, soften your face and jaw, and just give just a tiny little tuck of the tailbone up towards the belly button. So that helps to lengthen the lumbar spine, helps to find more length in the spine overall. Next breath in, we're going to move our hands back. We're going to draw the left knee up towards the left shoulder, and then breath out, we're going to cross the left knee over the right one. So once again, having the blocks under the soles of the feet completely changes the trajectory of this posture. Take a deep breath in, float all 10 fingertips up towards the sky. Keep your shoulders, face, and jaw soft. And then breath out, you're going to twist to the left. Let the fingertips float down. And then see if you can rest your hands on the back of the chair. Fullest, deepest inhale, growing long in the spine right here. And then exhale, twisting even more deeply from your core, and perhaps your gaze comes behind you. and only twisting as far as your body will allow. And see if you can keep that twist focused in the area of your core. Take a deep breath in, and then breath out to release. Come back to center, unwind, and keeping the soles of the feet on the blocks or not, coming back to your seated staff pose. So seated Dandasana. And simply breathe into what you feel here. And so the couple of modifications that I have demonstrated for our Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose, are just the tip of the iceberg. There are many, many other modifications that I will not go into in this video because it will end up being way longer than what it probably should be for a simple, basic, foundational yoga posture. If you've watched any of my other videos, some of them do have some length to them. And so that is not the goal with this posture. The goal is to keep it simple. So those are some introductory ways to come into the posture, whether you come into the full version, the traditional version, or whether you use some props to help modify the pose, to help it make it more easy and accessible for you and your own beautiful body. I encourage you to look further if this is your sort of thing to research. If you would like to adopt other modifications. Some of the benefits of this posture is, of course, it improves digestion because we are focusing on twisting from the core. It's really an all full body posture because it can also help to open up through the shoulders. It can be a hip opening posture. Especially if you can come into the fullest version where you have that bottom foot folded in. It also helps to relieve backaches. It helps to strengthen the core. It definitely helps to open up through the spine. And it helps to boost energy and focus. So those are all some really great reasons to explore this posture on your own time in your own beautiful body. Thank you so much for joining. I am so glad that you have watched this video in its entirety. If you like this content, please feel free to hit the like button. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you would like more content of this nature, because this is what I'm all about. This is what my channel is all about. Once again, thank you so much. I am so glad that you have joined, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.